Okay, that should be better now, guys. Sorry about that. I had to extend things quite a little bit to clean up a mess. Doggo, nothing really wrong with him. He just eats too fast sometimes, and he's an idiot. So he eats too fast, and he throws it up, and he tries to eat it again. And either way, it still makes a mess on the floor. So I got that cleaned up. Hi there, everybody. Welcome back. How goes it? Hope you're doing well. Yeah. So I'm playing WoW for the first time in a while. Not since in the fall, really. I actually had to resub for the first time in years. I let my sub lapse back in December and didn't renew it because I wasn't playing it. You know, I was playing Ashes of Creation. I was just doing other things. And so I was like, yeah, I won't play for a while. Because always the biggest thing that stopped me from playing WoW is having people to play with. Right? I like WoW. I've always liked WoW. I've played this game for 20 years. But it's sometimes hard to enjoy a multiplayer game by yourself. And so I like playing with people. So I got a group of peeps. Create a new camp. Each one can be assigned. Oh, that's pretty cool. All these other different camps. Oh, I don't have them. I have the Onaran Overlook. I like the Adventurer's Rest better. It's cool you can get new campgrounds and stuff. But yeah, so I decided, you know what, guys? Let's try a little bit of WoW. I also wanted to kind of take a break. I've been no-lifing a few games, you know. I've been focusing really hard on Oblivion. Before that, it was Atlas. You know, before that, it was Ashes. So I've been pretty hard-nosed on a couple of games here recently. And I didn't, you know, reach out to anybody to see if they want to do Age of Wonders with me today. So I was like, you know what, I kind of still want to play something a little different. But what do I want to play? So here we are. Pulled up World of Warcraft. I also know that not a lot of the time do you guys, my regular viewers, really give too much of a shit about me playing WoW. It's actually probably been historically one of the worst games for me to stream. But I like it still. So I play it anyway. Hey, look at you, Trash Hunter. I really appreciate that, buddy. Holy crap. Gifted subs, another 5 gifted subs. That is awesome. Hype train. I don't know if I can hype train. Starting the day off. Thank you so much for that, Trash Hunter. Doots for you, my friend. Absolutely. Thank you, bud. How have you been? How's things with you and the family? Ooh, I've got unopened items in my collections. Open. Gigantic Durlock. School mount. Unwrap. Ooh, I like that one. Get the kitty cat. Star touched fur line. Set favorite. Set favorite. Unwrap. Ooh, that's a cool one too. That's a flying mount too. Okay. Neat. I got more mounts. Yahoo. Wow. You know, back in the day, I remember when people used to spam in chat. They probably still do in WoW Classic. Paying 10 gold for guild signatures. I see a guy down in chat, and it says paying 1,000 gold for guild signatures. Well, now 2K for guild signatures. Wow. That's insane. I have no idea, like, how bad the inflation is in WoW now, as far as like how far, 1,000 gold goes. You're playing Civ 6 and editing your stream deck. Heck yeah, buddy. That's awesome. What all do you use your stream deck for? I know a couple times you've edited and messed with its commands and stuff. Like, what all do you do with it? Out of curiosity. Yeah, I remember you doing that for a while. You gonna start doing that again? Out of curiosity. Oh, good, good. Well, let me know when you start that back up, buddy. I mean, hopefully I'll get the announcement, but let me know. And feel free to post in the, friend links channel in my Discord, you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. Very good. All right, so there's our new mounts. I like this one. Star-touched fur line. Yeah, it's like, it even made kitty noises when I summoned it. Wow. Look at the kitty mount. And it flies by running. That's a cute kitty. Finally updated to Windows 11 yesterday. Well, look at you, chick. Look at you. Yeah, did you have any major issues with the changeover? I mean, I really didn't have a lot of problems transitioning to Windows 11. I mean, because I didn't get Windows 11 until, I rebuilt my PC. What we get from this hype chest, chick. Trash hunter, everybody. We got gifted one. Smashing that A button. Nice. Had to reinstall voice meter, so it changed over to potato. Okay. So what's the difference between potato and banana? I mean, because I put banana on my copy of Windows 11. Oh, that's cool. What is that mount? Dawn... No, that's not it. Crimson Shredder Tank. Increases flight speed by 705%. That's fast. Okay, is this normal what it is now? It used to be like 480. 705 is a lot. That is a lot faster than how you move. Because, yeah, it's compared to, like, running speed. So. Super fast. Yeehaw. Oh, I actually have mail, too. More input, output, more features. Okay, right on. Well, I kind of don't want to fuck with what I've got going on right now because it took a lot of setup. And I'm like, you know what? It works out nicely. I like it. It sounds nice. And I do appreciate all your help with it, chick. It's also like, I'm not going to fix it if it ain't broke kind of thing. But hey, if you found out some really cool stuff and you have some suggestions, I hear you out. That is for sure. So keep me posted. And how that change is for you. Oh, that's good. That's a very good thing. I don't even remember what those are. Oh, resonance crystals. Valor stones, resonance crystals. That's what those are. Okay. Cool. Well, we're going to have a lot of quests to do, I'm sure. And some catch-up stuff. We got the Undermined Delves. What's that? Ultra Prime Deluxe Turbo Boost Powerhouse Challenge. Oh, that's actually like the raid for Undermine. And you can do LFR or higher. Yeah, I'll pick that up. Why not? Oh, I have mail. You can see what's in the mailbox. Brew of the Month Club. Aw, yeah. Wink. And it's now season 2. I had season 1 stuff. It's now season 2, so I've got like to completely re-gear. I've got to get new PvP gear.
Supply of goods for
I've got to get new freaking like PvE gear. Deposit on my reagents.
And peruse my inventory again.
It's been quite some time since I last played. Alright, so complete 2 delves, or, 8 delves for the week. And it just did have the weekly reset. Got Mythic, Time Walking Dungeons. Do we have Time Walking right now? No Time Walking right now. I can do Heroic, probably. 2 Liberation of Undermine bosses, and I'll have to do the raid for LFR, probably. Alright, that's about the new delves. I like the delves. The delves are really fun. Not that far to go.
You'll find me wherever the action is.
Undermined delves. Good to see ya.
The truth is out there. Keep your eyes on the
Hear that? I'll get that on seasonal refresher. Learn about season 2 delves from the Delver's documents, then purchase supplies from Reno, Jackson, and Sir Finley.
Travel safe.
Right. What's this?
The answers are here. I can feel
New treasures to be found in delves. More ruined crests will be earned from delves at tier 9 and above. Gilded crests can now be rewarded up to 3 times a week upon completing a bountiful tier 11.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Okay. Right, Delver starter kit, that's different. Yep. And then this guy.
Greetings.
Alright, more delve stuff. Oh, okay, cool. These are schematics that I can get. Good. Good. Wrong button. 3 random delve agents. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, a cosmetic. Nice. Me like it. Alright, and then, let's see, this is a quest log, roster, achievement points, applicants. I don't know who these people are. You applied to my guild. Let's see, out of everybody, Sly's the only one that's been on. In 6 months since I've played, or 5 months since I played last, I can see my other characters there, and then Wifey's character 6 months ago. Many people. Jack Roy hasn't played in 8 months. Yeah, there's been a few people who hasn't played in a while, including many alts indeed. Yoosh. Longest time, 7 years. Damn. Some of them are like alts I know of. Some people, it's just been a long time. See, I do have names. Different people's saved in here. Look, it's Kai Paladin. All right, there we go. Well, let's see what's on our plate, shall we? So we learned the new Delves thing. We got here. New options, advanced options, enable cooldown manager. Toggle to view important cooldowns and buffs and separate customizable HUD elements for, oh wow, okay. And then we can change colors of our HUD stuff. Oh, you can even change the colors that show up for your item quality stuff. Oh. Okay. Those are indeed new. All right. Get here in the thing. Nerdy Nords. Gotta see what was the community for these guys that I was gonna play with. Oh. There we go. You have your taskbar aligned to the center, right? No. Mine's aligned to the left like it normally is. It default to the center is what I was talking about the other day. That's just where the default is. But no, I adjusted it to put it on the bottom left like it has been in every iteration of Windows since its inception.
Speak and be heard.
Meet Melton outside Framed Radiance.
Obey the adventurer. Unsurrex loyalists seek vengeance. Join the flames' radiance in defending Hallowfall.
World quest. Complete any seasonal dungeons. I am gonna need to run dungeons to get gear, I'm sure. I even started the Undermine stuff. That's for Kazalgar. Yeah, I'll do dungeons.
Be strong, my
That's fine.
friend. Your aid brings.
Where's the
hope
align
us
to the
all.
right?
A beacon in the dark.
You have my focus. I will see you in
Titan
the
Disc
archive.
fragments for Dungeons on Mythic. Probably won't get to doing that one this week, but we'll see. We shall see. Let me go ahead and change what mouse I'm using too. Because you read manga from right to left. I mean, that's true. It's very true. All right. Let's see. We got that part. Where was that quest at? I just saw it on the map. Here's the guy. Here we go.
Communication
That one up.
initiated. What is your command?
And normally that's an immediate turn in. It's not right now. Catalyst.
Work cycle interrupted. Resuming.
Right. Picking up these dailies, weeklies. Yeah, I got them all turned on. Yeah, I ended up doing like the full setup of, you know, what you would recommend it to use. I got all those VST plugins working and sorted and adjusted, I think at least, to a acceptable new normal. This is below. In here. No, not in here. The hell are these guys? Yep. Got everything set up. Seems to be working out quite nicely. I think so. Seriously, where the fuck is this quest? Must be in here.
The skies call.
I mean, you're the one who helped me with this stuff and kind of pointed out the issues I had going on. What do you think of the, you know, current state of things?
Good health to you.
You gotta remember that I disabled my S key and made it my pop that buff key. It's a 2-minute cooldown. That's because I PvP, and so, you know, backing up with S is usually really dumb. Plus, you back up slower than you run, so it's just easier just to turn your character, jump around the turn, than it is to run backwards. Backpedaling slow, so I just disabled that key for backpedaling and made it a cooldown key. Or like a bomb limb. Abomination limb.
Work cycle
Beautiful.
interrupted.
Alright, that gets me on another quest. Delver's Guide renewed. Oh, I still didn't do that. Okay. I talked to Bran again, I guess.
Lords of forgotten knowledge are within our grasp.
Okay. I guess I need to
Truth
do
is
some
out
delves.
Inquiring minds just got to know. Loads of forgotten knowledge are within our grasp. Travel safe.
I talked to the guys for the whole seasonal refresher thing.
There
So everything
is
should
much
be
to
fine.
discover. Farewell.
Alright, so now we gotta figure out this quest stuff. Adventure guide. Oh yeah, it wouldn't hurt that too. Trading post, battleground blitz, new bazaar palace. Where is... How do I start the damn Gallywix stuff? I'm not, you know, using Zygor right now, so I don't have that, like, queued up. Like, I'm back playing WoW, doesn't mean I'm be back, like, 100% up in some WoW, so we're not paying for that add-on.
'Tis a good day for a bit of buying. Now don't you be gone too long.
First, my trade coins. What's the offer? Ooh, a mount. Spring Harvest Hog. Well, obviously we're gonna get that. Gotta get the mount. Okay. Kind of curious to see those VST plugins are set up. Kind of feels like you're missing a little definition, but unsure. I'm willing to look at it with you. Maybe, you know, if you got some time tomorrow evening. Yeah, off of stream and stuff. That's a pet. It is a red panda, but it's white and black. Wifey would like that pet. Just another mount? Yup. Getting it. Let's see. That's a cool looking sword. Yeah, so is that one. Damn. Those are quite cool. Large Renaissance katana. I can see why that's kind of a katana. Nunchucks. Oh, they actually have the physics and stuff. That's cool. Offhand nunchucks. Sai. Oh. Double katanas. I mean, that's not terrible. I like that. I'll get those. I'll think I want the nunchucks though. Let's see what else we got here. Nope. Oh, so basically it's Ninja Turtle themed. I can basically make Ninja Turtles. Okay. Red, blue, or wow. Okay. Okay. World of Warcraft Ninja Turtles. Got it. That's exactly what all of that gear is. The sai, the nunchucks, the katanas. It's fucking Ninja Turtles. That's funny. Another mount. Those are different. Boom. More mounts and transmog.
Spirits bring you good fortune.
It's not the button. That's the button. New mounts. If I set them all as favorite, I can just hit this button, my random mount button, and again, it brings out a random mount based off of what's assigned to my favorites. And how many do I have total now? 376 mounts. It's a lot. A whole lot of mounts. Alright. So now we've done that. We need to find our quest, where we're going to be going. Adventure guide. So it's featured content, battleground bits, horrific visions. Reforging Tears Guard. Lingering Shadows. I've done all that. Theater Troop. Nope. Two Cats! Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I was letting you know I jumped back into WoW. Battleground Blitz. Is that the weekly? Warsong Scramble. Ugh. I might dookie geared though. In fact, let's look at how bad it is. My gear disparity. The current PvP gear. Oh no, I feel you. It's all good, bud.
Is your query crucial? Cycles are short today. Conversation terminated. Be safe. May your path be free of danger.
Haven't been to Undermine. Totally understand, bud.
I have calibrated my prices.
Alright, so those
to
are
be reasonable.
632 item level. Alright, let's put on my PvP. Item sets, Frost PvP. Quit. 578 item level. Yeah, those take bloody tokens as well.
My
So
thanks for your patience.
those are the ones to get. Those bloody token ones. That's 636 item level. That'll be doing some world PvP would probably be the best way for me to re-gear PvP wise. Get those bloody tokens.
My directive is to serve you.
Elite Conquest
I have
Quartermaster.
calibrated my prices to be reasonable.
Oh, war
I
modes.
have an extended
Nope.
supply of goods for Outlander.
Is that the only guy? Oh, there's another gearman. There,
My
honor
directive is
quartermaster.
to serve you.
These are 597. Well, that's just the explorer stuff, but mine are upgraded 5 of 8 at 571. These are 597 at 1 of 8. I do have a decent amount of
Return
honor.
and peruse my inventory again.
Got like 10,000 honor.
My directive is to serve you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna need
My
to do some
directive has been
upgrading. Alright. And I gotta start gearing for tank. Buddies that I want to play with. You know, again, doing like mythics and stuff like that. So I want to tank mythic pluses. I enjoy tanking, especially in 5-man dungeons. So I will be gearing up my Death Knight for tanking mythic plus. PvE wise. PvP, I'll still be whatever. I kind of got to look and see if, you know, Frost is still viable, or if I'm going to have to go unholy and completely change my gear sets. I'm going to have to look at that before I really dive into, like, what I'm going to be gearing for, because I need to make sure I have the right spec I'm running. Ain't no good running Frost if Frost is boo-boo when it comes to damage right now. Especially on, like, you know, PvP. That's what I've got to look at. And I need to figure out how to start the Undermine stuff. Let's see. Undermine. Here we go. Find Glasgow. This is where I'm going. Ooh. Fate of the Curantor. Oh, we have a few things to do. Continue the campaign by accepting the Survivor's Guild quest in Dornagal. Oh, they're over here. Okay. So there's the quests. So I gotta do some story catch up and do Undermine. Plenty to do. Plenty to do. Go in here. See what all these quests are about. Alright. Seeking knowledge of the past.
Fair skies and strong winds.
What all we got here?
We must continue
It's
to pursue
Dadgar.
Xalatath, no matter the cost.
Let's see. Don't worry about me, but Aethys. Pyramid of Doran's craft site. They need your help. Title: Witness to the Curantor.
Nice chatting with you, old. We all
Illyria.
grieve Dalaran, but Aethys
Look, he's got a
will
shadow
need help
wheelchair.
processing its loss.
Let's see. Lingering shadow. Oh, stay a while and listen. What's this?
It occurs to me that I never got the chance to properly thank you, champion. Were it not for your efforts, Dalaran could have proven to be an even greater tragedy than it was.
We thought we had lost you, Khadgar. How did you survive?
The Dark Heart was created not to destroy, but to capture and harness all manner of power. When I felt what it was doing to me, I transmuted myself into pure arcane energy.
And allowed yourself to be trapped within the Dark Heart.
Yes, until you freed me.
That was a risky move. Trusting me to finish the fight against Xalatath.
I knew you would do whatever it took to defeat her. Just like all those years ago, when we charged through the Dark Portal and closed it behind us to save our world. Both
Yeah.
then and now, placing my faith in you was never any risk at all.
Well, that's really
That
nice.
transmutation spell, however, that was not without consequences. You know, Kerdrin keeps saying I should just ride a griffin around. That seems terribly inconvenient, if you ask me. I much prefer this chair.
So was what,
Could
Khadgar
that
the new
be
Professor
because
X?
Archmage Modera designed it for you herself?
Why, Ilaria? Whatever are you implying?
Only that you and Terralion are so very alike. Bold in battle, shy in
Who is this
matters of the heart.
Archmage Modera?
And you are still the same old Ilaria, I see.
That I am, Khadgar. Void or no void.
Well, that's nice.
Stay
Lingering
alert.
Shadows. Let's see. Go to Harrowfall and cover what you can. Okay, that's the
Xanatas has been
continuation of where
forced
I
to
left off of
retreat,
the story.
But she and the Black Blood are still out there. Even now it lingers in Hallowfall.
Join a community. Boop. Join. That's it. That's what I was looking for earlier.
Only you.
Alright, each passing day, more people awaken with the stone vault. This is not a path I wish to forge. Expedition
Come back
awaits.
with new
Meet with
experiences.
Skagat East. Okay, let's see.
May Azeroth.
Join the expedition to the Siren Isle. Let's see, who are you? The first Earthen to emerge from the awakening machine.
Goodbye.
Oh,
my
okay, as they
friend.
started the story. What's
We
the
have much
Siren
to
Isle?
learn.
Supporter Moria Bronzebeard Dark Irons. High Speaker Brentha has secures alternative route to the Siren Isle. Oh, the mole machines. Ah, okay.
Hurry. On to your next.
What else we got going on over here?
Don't ask where I got it.
Beeps Unifier.
I'll bring back more shiny things. I find more stuff for you.
Cool. There's all that. Let's get out of here. Oh yeah, I still got to look up whether or not a decent DK build is even existing in Frost for me to check out. Let's see. Icy Veins. Icy Veins WoW. Icy Veins WoW Death Knight. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. How's Frost DK hold up right now? Is what I want to know. Let's see. Current WoW class rankings in Mythic Plus. There we go. Mythic Plus DPS rankings. Unholy Death Knight. Okay. Frost DK just slightly behind that. All right, let's see. If that's the DPS ranking, there you go, Mythic plus tank rankings. Blood Death Knight's not as good as Demon Hunter right now. But Blood DK's okay. Didn't get any major changes. Yeah, because DK is a better DPS than they are a tank apparently right now, but they're still pretty decent tanks. That's all right. One thing I'm struggling with in WoW is level scaling. What do you mean? I've kind of always done a pretty good job of that, personally. Let's go pick up this Horrific Visions Revisited stuff. Right, I keep doing that.
Greetings, adventurer.
Seeking knowledge of the past.
Come, there is much to discuss.
Let's see. Let's discuss. New threat to the void is one that puts us all at risk. So in the case of the Black Blood in the past, N'Zoth used to induce visions. Perhaps we can figure out how to counter its effects by returning to these moments. Help me set up a portal to the past. Okay. Got it.
What do you require?
I'm ready.
Black Blood, much like the old gods from whence it came, is both potent and dangerous.
It's weird fighting stuff that's easy to kill at level 5, but almost down to this exact same mob 15 levels later.
Faced its mind-altering qualities.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
The return of Nyalotha, Rathion and Mother discovered
I'm trying
a way
to think.
to resist his reality
Well, what X-Pack are you leveling up in? Because you can kind of choose where you level.
And reliving that conflict. Perhaps we can glean new knowledge to aid us.
No, I can't say that I've really had the same struggles. Oh, Clothies. I mean, well, Clothies.
I can aid you. Ponder what we discussed.
Oh, I guess I'm just ahead of this. Eight, 9, 10. I hate that Epic Games delisted all their Unreal games. They'll only be relaunching Unreal Tournament 3. Yeah, it's weird, dude. Weird stuff.
Is it time already? Time reveals all. Time is of the essence. You will now witness a vision of what N'Zoth intended for our world. Be fearless.
Yeah,
champion.
probably. So that's the portal to the Horrific Visions. All right, we don't have to do that right now. Because I want to do the story stuff. So we're going to do that quest right there. Oh, what the fuck? Let's do it. The expedition awaits. That was a tranquil stand. No, it's a survivor's guild. Tranquil stand should be over there. There we go. Gotta try to remember my way around the map. Been a while since I played. As much as I'm really enjoying Oblivion Remastered, and I am really enjoying Oblivion Remastered, needed to take a break from it, just doing the same thing. Plus, you know, we got that big slog of the Sheogorath, the Shivering Isles DLC to get through. So I was like, yeah, let me not play that for a day or two. You're waiting for KCD 2? Yeah, and that's gonna be the next RPG after Oblivion. It's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I definitely want to play it. I also know, though, that there's some other games coming out that I want to play. Like, I do want to play Dune, because I really do like survival games. So once that releases,
invaluable arcane tomes.
I do want to play it.
No, that's not quite right. Still we stand. And so, we fight on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't own Expedition 33. I do own Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And Stalker 2. Yeah. I haven't finished Avowed either. I got things to do.
All that I worked for. Gone.
There's never a lack of games to play. It's a not knowing what I want to play or which one it is at that moment.
May we next meet? I've been struggling to find the right words to pen this letter.
Let's see. All right, so we gotta figure out which letter you should write. That one. We helped them write a letter to all the survivors of Dalaran.
We'll defend what remains.
Oh. They've been hesitant to return to the area. A great deal of energy was dispelled before and after the Dalaran crash. Oh, we got an ad coming up, guys. It's unclear whether or not a hazardous or more corporeal danger still lurk. Help him gather reagents.
It is important. This area is dangerous. We must act to protect ourselves while we are here.
But I didn't have to respec. Going back to the game. I am gonna have to take a serious look at my spec and see if it's still what I need to be running. But so far I'm not just getting raffle stomped, so that's good. Those are strong though. Jeez. That's a lot of health. But yeah, I may end up having to go to Unholy DK for PvE deeps. Definitely have to do some looking up to see about some PvP spec as well. I mean, because if I'm going to end up PvPing as Frost, then I'll still PvE as Frost, even though it won't be as good as Unholy. Because I prefer PvP over any other kind of game mode to begin with. But I do like running the Mythic Plus dungeons and just running dungeons in general, so... But I'm probably just going to be tanking those. I'll DPS for a bit, or DPS if I am needed to DPS, but... Honestly, there's a huge lack of tanks in the game at all times, and that's always been a thing with WoW, so... being a tank means I will probably be able to run even more dungeons even faster because I will never really have to wait to build a group. Because people are always wanting tanks.
Well done, champion. Your efforts have safeguarded our knowledge for generations.
There's definitely more to pick up. Like these things. Gotta kill them. Hey, Hungry. Yeah, Avowed, I like it. I really did like the game. I think it's fun and has a really intriguing story. It's not what I wanted it to be. It wasn't the game I was hyped to play. There were just some severe lacks of some things that I thought, honestly, should be standard in RPGs nowadays that Obsidian just didn't do. But as a game alone and not comparing it to others, it is a fun, very good game, and I like it. But also it's one of those games to where it's so linear that it doesn't have replayability for me. And I do know that once I do finish it, I will probably never play it again. It's a good game. I've enjoyed the ride. The combat was fun, a little repetitive, but fun. Again, I like the story, because, I mean, I like the Pillars of Eternity universe. I think it's a really cool story, really good lore. And the voice acting was great. I really like the characters. Of course, there's a guy voiced by the same actor as Garrus, and the character sounded just like fucking Garrus. And that's actually cool, too. But yeah, I didn't see any replayability in Avowed. And so I want to finish it to have finished it. Bum, 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 bum. And I've bounced between a few MMOs. You know, I tried Throne Liberty, which I think Throne Liberty was fun. I've always loved WoW. Ashes is a great game, great MMO, but right now it's in a weird state because it's in, like, you know, Alpha 2.5. Anyway, it wiped on May 1st. It's gonna wipe again in August. And I like Ashes, and I will put in the effort to play it. But I don't like the fact that my progress will just be gone in 6 months, too. And so, not even 6 months. Fucking 4. So, yeah, I didn't want to really pick up Ashes again until August. At the least. Yeah, I agree with you, Chick. But I do have several single-player games I want to play. I also very much like playing multiplayer games, so I'm trying to balance it to where, you know, I'm doing some multiplayer, having fun with other people, and then also getting through my log of RPGs that I want to play, single-player games that I want to do a thing on. Yeah, I can understand that, man. Everything. Frostfire Essence. Oh, right there. Yeah. Well, at least I can mine this. Yeah. 1 Frostfire Essence collect. Yo. Gotta want that thing to respawn, apparently. Oh. There it is. But yeah, like I said, the biggest thing for me with the way it's going in about is just like the game has zero replayability for me. There's not like a different way to play the game. I mean, yeah, there's a few different endings. That is true, because it's one of those games where like your choices matter, but only so much. And even in like, you know, playing it again, the choices will be the same. It's just what the outcome of those choices are. And even then, the game still points you in a certain direction, and you still go from this place to this place to this place in this order. And, you know, it's a fun experience once. Yeah, not a lot of build diversity. You know, there's not really any proper way to like combo magic and melee weapons. Like I said, trying not to compare it to other games and leave it as it is by itself. And it's a fun game. It's just, you know, there's just not a lot of it. You know, once upon a time, I'd have expected a lot more out of Obsidian, but
from Dalaran. But we need a barrier if we are to remain here for Dalaran. Still we stand.
All right.
And so we fight on.
Nebulum casts a spell to protective dome over the tranquil stream.
May we next meet on the battle. Place the wards on the ground, champion. I will channel the barrier. If fate has brought Dalaran low twice, maybe it should not be rebuilt.
I think Obsidian's previous game, Outer Worlds, was way more fun.
We lose people and history. Now, champion, use the Frostfire Essence to seal the barrier. That will do. I think I may need a moment to catch my breath.
Right.
The Sun Reavers will defend what remains.
This'll do for now.
It is important we...
And yeah, I liked Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds did have a lot more. It was a lot more of an RPG.
Still we stand. I doubt if we can do all of this alone. What? What is that on the horizon?
You are not alone, friends.
It's a dragon.
Calicos. You got my message.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, them releasing around the same time made a significant difference in how it was received as well, I think. It needed to be before KCD2, because after KCD2, yeah, it looks very lackluster. At the same time, you know, would have been a gamble, but it needed to be a lot further. Like, if they had released maybe, you know, 6 months before Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I think Avowed would have been a bit more well-received than it was. But the direct comparison to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and its quality, there's not a comparison.
I can definitely help with that. Here, take this bag and start setting up camp.
Bag of helpful goods. Magic bag.
Now, excuse me. I need a moment with Aethys. Aethys. I brought mana potions, but it's obvious what you really need is rest.
Rest? No.
Yeah,
I am afraid to close my eyes, Caligos.
I think that's the ultimate thing that made me not surprised that there was a dip in what would be regularly known as Obsidian quality, and that's because Microsoft bought it. You know? Like, I really haven't been impressed by any of, like, the classic LPs that Microsoft has picked up. Like, what did they do with Halo? What have they done with Call of Duty? What have they done with just Blizzard in general? Like WoW, Diablo, and then they got Obsidian. So it's kind of like, well, I mean, there's hope. Like, this expansion for WoW is pretty good. Dragonflight was pretty good. But, you know, like, they just haven't really wowed me at all.
In the darkest of times, we need the truest of friends.
Blizzard has always been shit ever since that one expansion. Well, I don't know which one. I didn't like Warlords of Draenor when it launched. Thought it was pretty shitty and didn't play that one. But yeah, Shadowlands was pretty terrible. If that's what you're referencing. Yeah, Shadowlands was the last time I took a pretty significant break from WoW. I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't want to play that expansion.
Call on me again, and I will follow. May there be fairer skies. I'll meet you at morning rise, champion. I need to.
Caligos, go. I will be fine.
Maybe.
Morning rise.
But I am not leaving that to chance. Let's go, champion.
Just like a dragon. Stubborn and a show-off.
Well, I'll do some mining while we're going. Blizzard and Overwatch have been horribly mismanaged. Oh no, Overwatch, even when it was just Blizzard, was horribly mismanaged. Right? Because Blizzard doesn't know what they're doing when it comes to games like that. They really should have had some help when it came to managing Overwatch and their servers and the competitiveness of it all. Yeah, like that was so far out of Blizzard's forte that it should have stayed out of their control. Kind of like the best thing to happen to Dota was for Blizzard not to own it. And granted, I don't like MOBAs, don't get me wrong, but Dota, Defense of the Ancients, is based on a mod made for the original Warcraft RTS. And the fact that Riot Games picked up, or no, that's League of Legends. Who has Dota? Anyway, those other guys that's not affiliated with Blizzard picked up Dota, and actually, you know, the MOBA took off. If it had been managed by WoW or by Blizzard, it would not have ever been as good. They did all right. They did make like crazy ground with Hearthstone. You know, the whole card game, the TCG craziness that went on in, like, you know, what was it, between like 2016 and 2020, like all the different TCGs were just fucking crazy. Was playing some totally not Dota and Warcraft 3 last Friday. Hey man, sometimes the mod is just far better than the standalone game. DayZ, for instance. You know, like, I enjoyed the shit out of DayZ when it was just a mod for Arma. The mod, and then the mods for the mod, what all the modders did by making new maps and making new changes to DayZ over the time. Like, when DayZ was open source, basically, it was awesome. And then they made their own standalone game, and it's just nowhere near as good. Nowhere near as good. And it's been years in early access and testing, and has gone through a myriad of changes, and it's still not as good as the mod for Arma 2.
The kobolds are definitely hoarding magical items here. I can sense them. I must admit, the sight of Dalaran reduced to rubble overwhelmed me. Though I put on a strong front for Aethys, I need a distraction. Something else to focus on.
I know, I've been playing these RTSs recently, like Age of Wonders. It has kind of made me want to go back and revisit, you know, the Warcraft 3 remake, which I did buy. Because A, I do like RTSs and I like Warcraft 3, but I mainly bought it so I can get a Mountain WoW. Like, that's why I bought it. Let's be real. I think it's cool, but I got it for the fucking chuck wagon. I'd play it. I like Warcraft. It's a fun RTS. And the story is good too. Some custom? Oh, see, that'd be the only thing I played. Like, even like when it comes to Age of Wonders, you guys, I'm sure some, you know, you guys that are friends with me on, you know, on Discord or on fucking Steam realize I've been actually playing a decent amount of Age of Wonders since I bought it last week. But I've been like doing the story mode for like unlocks and stuff for my Pantheon, and I've been doing that off stream on like my non-stream days because A, I've been cheating my ass off to get them done quickly. Like, yeah, I've, you know, given myself gold and mana and instant research and all that kind of shit to just get the games done quickly, to get the unlocks so I can play more custom games. Because that's what I want to do in RTSs. I could give a shit less what the story is. Outside of, like, Command and Conquer, I have never cared about the story in any RTS I played. Okay, StarCraft as well. StarCraft was really good. Like, the original StarCraft storyline in Brood War, pretty awesome. But, like, all the Command and Conquer games actually had decent story. You know, Sons of a Solar Empire, Stellaris, Total War, Warhammer, Age of Wonders, like all of these that I've played in the last couple of years, I couldn't be bothered to give a fuck about the lore and what's going on in the game. I just want to make my really big maps, go against a whole bunch of enemies, some easy, some medium, some hard, and just see if I can take over the whole world or die trying. Like, that is what I do in RTSs. It's fun. When I was a kid, I used to spend like a week or two every day after school or even on the weekends or whatever, like in the map maker on StarCraft, making custom maps, you know, putting resources, building, you know, mountains and rivers and bridges and ruins and cities, and then playing the map I made, sometimes in multiple different starting locations, and just, you know, seeing how powerful I can be on that map, or just seeing how hard it is. And that was always the most fun thing for me about RTSs.
Do not worry.
And so, yeah,
This
like with
is
Age of
not
Wonders,
the end of the Kirin
no
Tor.
idea what's going on. It's the 4th game. I've not played any of them. I don't know what's going on. Don't really care. I just wanted to get the unlocks in the Pantheon, build cool custom races like my dwarves based off the Marcus Heights novels, or my Necro Dwarves, which is dwarves plus, you know, based off the stream, you know, undead stuff. And so that shit is really fun for me. You just play a bunch of Command & Conquer 3 against AI with custom maps and such, and then they killed it with 4. I didn't play Command & Conquer 3. I played... Tiberian Sun was my very first Command & Conquer game. So I played Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun, then I played Red Alert, then I played Red Alert 2, I played Generals, I played Tiberian Wars. So I mean, I played several of the Command & Conquer games. I mean, let's take a second, you know, rest in peace Westwood Studios, you know, like, those guys who did the Command & Conquer LP, they produced a lot of quality games for a long time, and it wasn't until, like, later on, 3 is Tiberian Wars, okay, so maybe I did play 3. But for the longest time, Command & Conquer was quality RTS. Like, everybody wanted to meet or beat what Command & Conquer had going on. Match it! Hey, buddy! Been a while. Welcome back, man. Good to see ya. I have to say, I don't think I even remember hearing of Nox. I'd have to, like, look at what it is and what it's about to really like rack my brain memory wise, but I don't think I remember that one. I said all the only things I really played from Westwood was the Command & Conquer series. I mean, and even today, typing in chat. Even today, I would play the fuck out some Red Alert 2. If you guys wanted to make some custom maps in Red Alert 2 and play, I'd do it. I'm actually, I'll be honest, I'm really interested in playing the Star Wars mod for Stellaris. I think that'd be cool. Granted, the very best, even though Empire at War is a pretty good Star Wars RTS, the very best RTS I ever played that had any kind of Star Wars theme, there was Sins of a Solar Empire is the game. And then it had some expansion, like Rebels something expansion, but it was around that time that X-Pack come out that someone did a complete like Star Wars overhaul for Sins of a Solar Empire. And it had, all the old EU stuff. You could play as the Yuzun Vong. You could play as the CIS. You could play as the Empire, the New Republic. Several, anything from like Dawn of the Jedi to the Legacy comics. Like they had it all. They had, a true representation of the Star Wars galaxy. All of the planets were named, had the correct descriptions and, local races. It was really, really cool. Oh, it was too. Like, when I say they did it right, dude, they did it right. The Star Wars overhaul for Sins of a Solar Empire, I think the X-Pack was Rebellion, because it was specifically for that X-Pack. So Sins of Solar Empire Rebellion, I believe, is what it was. But yeah, there was this huge Star Wars mod, and man, it was so good. And I haven't seen another RTS get it that right. And the closest game to Sins of a Solar Empire that's like, more modern would be Stellaris. It has a lot of similar gameplay elements, similar setting. So like I'd say Stellaris is definitely the closest thing to it. And I haven't checked out the Star Wars overhaul mods for Stellaris. But I would be directly comparing them to what was made for Sins of a Solar Empire. And I would totally play that with some of you guys. If y'all ever wanted to sit down and, do something like that, like do some Stellaris, I'm down. I was achievement hunting in Age of Wonders 4, actually, honey. Is what I was playing and doing achievement hunting offline. That's what I was just talking about. But I have Stellaris. In fact, let me see. I'm just going to pull up Steam really quick. Stellaris. I do have it. And so I got 57.3 hours in it. There's a lot of DLC I don't have. Of course, the newest thing, Biogenesis, I don't have. Sins of a Solar Empire 2, Star Wars mod stuff. I haven't played Sins of a Solar Empire 2. Yeah, last time I played Stellaris, March 26, 2020. It's been just over 5 years since I last played Stellaris. Let's see. Do I have... What was Sins of the Solar Empire? Did I actually have that just by itself and not through Steam? Look. Yeah, I think that actually might be the case. I might have just had that like alone. Last year I was playing and doing a lot of achievement hunting, and it wasn't an RTS last year. Yeah, that was ages ago. Fucking Stellaris. Yeah, because I think I was playing with You Hungry and like Lizard Runner and a few other people. There was a couple. Looney was playing it. Yeah, there was a couple of us. Is Sins of a Solar Empire even on Steam? Okay, Sins of Solar Empire 2. It's actually on my wish list, but I do not own Sins of a Solar Empire 2. So I have not tried the Star Wars mod for it. Like I said, I tried the first one. It was amazing. I mean, all these games we were just talking about are all made by the same people, like Stellaris, Sins of a Solar Empire, and Age of Wonders. They're all made by Paradox. Imagine that, or Stardock and Paradox. Same. Sorry. I saw Stardock on here and thought Paradox. But yeah, the other ones are Paradox. This one's Stardock. Either way, you know, they know their business when it comes to RTSs. Supreme Commander. God, I forgot about that one. Supreme Commander's an old one too. At least the original. Yeah. Facts, guys. Boink. You know, honestly, I have to admit, I do miss playing WoW and streaming it, because I can just bullshit with you guys and like be really interactive with chat while fucking around in WoW. Because I know the game so much and like my character, and just, it's second nature to play this game. Like, this is, you know, one of those like riding a bike situations. Like, you never fucking forget how to play WoW when you've played as long as I have. Like, hold on. Let's do a /played. So it's just this character, right? 163 days is how long over time I have played just this character. Time played this time in World Within. I've only done 3 days worth of time in World Within. I have 163 days on my Death Knight. Yeah, I have a shit ton of characters. Like, I have main Death Knight, Warlock, Hunter, Rogue, fucking Demon Hunter, Disc Priest. Yeah, like, I bounce around characters, different classes. DK's the one I always go back to. DK's my default. I love Death Knight the most. But I've played many other classes. I wish there was somewhere I can look at like my total time played in WoW. Just total time in World of Warcraft. Because I have had the game for, 20 years. So, like, in that 20 years, I actually want to know, like, how many hours do I have in World of Warcraft? Am I silenced? What is happening? Oh shit, I'm typing in chat. Haha! It happens like that sometimes. It blows your mind that over for half your actual living life you've played WoW. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's funny, right? So, as of, basically this month, 19 years ago, I graduated from high school. You know what I was doing in May of 2006? Playing World of Warcraft on the weekends. And Star Wars Galaxies. More Star Wars Galaxies back then, but I did still play WoW. Nice, match it. You played more WoW than actually lived. So, yeah, when I was playing Ashes of Creation, even just a few months ago or whatever, Two Cats here in chat, we were talking about WoW and other MMOs we played, and he was just getting back into it. I let him know, I was like, yo, I play on Illidan, that's where my characters are. I haven't played in a while. In fact, I actually, let my sub lapse in December for the first time in years, and decided I was going to play WoW for a while. Hey, Jackie, how's it going? Hello, hello. But yeah, so I actually reconnected with another buddy I used to game with a long time ago, and, he was actually streaming some WoW, and he's been streaming some WoW. And he played a bit of the season 1, of the new expansion. Now it's not even quite halfway through season 2. But he's been playing, doing a lot of Mythic Plus and stuff like that. And he's, he's an older guy like me. He's played WoW for a long time like me. And he's like, I like WoW. It's comfortable. I always go back to it. I'm old. I only have X amount of time to play games. And WoW does it for me. So I'm just going to put a little more focus in it. And I'm like, that's pretty gangster. I mean, I get that. I understand. And he's like, so, if you guys want to join me, cool. If you don't, whatever. I'm going to be playing WoW anyway. And I'm like, all right. Well, I mean, I PvP and do mythics, and the only reason I haven't been playing WoW since December, other than playing other games, is there's been nothing for me to do with friends in World of Warcraft because none of my friends were playing. So if I got people to play with, I mean, that's how it is with most MMOs for me. Like Final Fantasy XIV, I loved it. You know, I played a lot with Mach, I played with Looney. And then I wasn't playing with Mach and Looney, and so I stopped playing. You know, World of Warcraft, I play with Wifey and my brother-in-law and a couple of my like really close IRL friends who, you know, played WoW over the years. They stopped playing for whichever reasons, so I fucking stopped too.
Champion, did you find anything?
But if I got people to play with, I'm here, man.
We must safeguard what is left of Dalaran.
Final Fantasy XIV is really good. I enjoyed the game a lot. I think it's beautiful. I think its PvE is fantastic. I think its story is fantastic. Its PvP is severely lacking. Severely lacking. And that's a turnoff for me. I like Final Fantasy, but I really like PvP.
I will follow.
It's not good. Like, the battlegrounds suck in Final Fantasy XIV.
Used in years.
The musical score, money. The fights, amazing. PvP, an afterthought. Not even an afterthought. Put in there just as a tool to appease the masses. No effort was really put into it.
A curse. Hold on.
And yeah, that's totally fine. You know, if that's not your thing, then yeah, like Final Fantasy XIV's the game, you know? But I also think that WoW has all of those things too. Like, the only thing, if I'm putting them side by side and going one over the other, Final Fantasy XIV has better crafting and, like, you know, transmog customization options. Though WoW has been catching up a lot with the transmog. The housing in Final Fantasy XIV is fantastic. Housing's coming to World of Warcraft finally after 20 years. Warcraft has them in PvP. Warcraft has them in, I would say, in overall, like dungeons in general. I think WoW has them beat in like the variety and just coolness of dungeons. I don't find the dungeons to be that different from expansion to expansion, from one dungeon to another. They're just kind of all kind of generic to me, I think, in Final Fantasy, but the raiding is great. In the fights, they put a lot of effort into the raid bosses, into the fights. Those are cool, and I think they're even better than World of Warcraft's raids, especially because Warcraft raiding has gotten immensely easier since Legion. And even then, like Legion compared to, you know, vanilla WoW, huge difference, but there's a huge dip in difficulty, and I'm just not,
the key to leaving.
I don't know, I'm not about it. You know, Wolf, that's not a bad way of putting it.
Look, the dimension, it's...
I last played the Endwalker expansion, and I did everything in it. I wasn't in a progression raiding guild, so to speak, but I was in people who were doing the content while it was current content. Just they weren't like groundbreaking in raids. But no, we were doing ultimates and everything like that.
Another
like,
shift.
I've seen
Keep
Endgame.
doing what you're doing. Perhaps we'll shift out of here.
Granted, again, it was a while back. It was during Endwalker. I haven't played since. No, I didn't find them the same as the older ones. They did get better over time. I'm just saying that they still didn't... They didn't do anything different. Like, their dungeons were still pretty... Just smash through them. Didn't really matter. As long as you had a tank who could tank and a healer that could heal. That's it. That's it. Your DPS was kind of irrelevant. It only matters in raids. You just ran through dungeons to run through them, not to really get anything out of them. And I don't know, there wasn't a lot to do mechanically in dungeons. That's what it is. Now, I'm not saying that WoW has that now. WoW has also dumbed down dungeons and stuff, especially in retail. It was a lot different back in the day. Is my W key just disabled? Oh, I keep accidentally hitting my chat. That's what it You played Star Wars: The Old Republic a long while back, fell in love, and then I fell out of it. So I was really in it. Star Wars Night, SWTOR.
Champion, look out!
I played the shit out of it. In fact, when it first launched and in beta and stuff, I ran the largest Mandalorian role-playing guild in that game. Like, period, dot. We had the largest members, largest amount of members. I loved the game when it launched.
Even though that's
then they
a
broke
image,
my class and made them worthless, and I stopped playing. I played a healer, mercenary, bounty hunter, and they just completely dicked over Merc Bounty healing and lost all of my motivation to play. Yeah, and then that's kind of what I was getting at, Wolf. It's like their boss fights and the mechanics are great, but their dungeons honestly shouldn't even exist. Like, you just run through them. There's no story. There's no, like, variety in boss fights. There's not really a lot of variety in layout either. And you just run them, you kill things, you get out. Legacy of the Sith, I don't even remember, like, honestly. I went back to it a couple of times. I did do the vitiate stuff, like the Eternal Empire. I did all of that. So I came back and played that, but I didn't play anything after. Well, no. I went back when they did the whole, you could have like dual class bullshit. I played for like another 2 weeks when that came out. So.
Well, a mistake? Is that not what the Kirin Tor is?
Yeah,
now?
okay. Sorry.
Bumbling mages
I did say that wrong.
And meddling in what they understand not.
They have story at the end. Like, there is a purpose for going in the dungeon, and like at the end of the dungeon, it does progress the story of the expansion. But like I was saying, you could have just made it a cinematic. Like, there really wasn't any need to run the dungeon.
Venturing into the unknown.
I don't know. I don't find dungeoning as complete in Final Fantasy as I did in other games. But it has been a while since I played it. Things may have changed. The state of it at Endwalker did not impress me.
I will not be hindered by the short-sightedness of those who cling to the illusion of right.
I didn't feel like they
wrong.
mattered.
Now go, before I find use for you in one of my experiments.
The story themselves were good. Like, I really liked the quest writing in Final Fantasy.
Kel'Thuzad helped us. And the necklace is just a necklace now. I will do whatever I can for the Kirin Tor. May there
That's
be
pretty cool.
fairer skies ahead.
Yes, Kel'Thuzad was indeed Kirin Tor. He was the original guy who betrayed the Kirin Tor and got Dalaran blown up the first time.
My greatest fears about the Kirin Tor.
Oh, okay. And agree with you on that.
We need to regroup.
Flashpoints was another point of contention for me in Star Wars: The Old Republic. One of the biggest ones for me in the Flashpoint. Now, I really liked the storytelling aspect of the Flashpoints, but again, the combat was bland and just uneventful. It really felt like. And again, that's how I feel about the dungeons in Final Fantasy. But the story narrative was pretty cool in the dungeons in SWTOR, just because of, like, the character choice stuff. But even then, after the first couple of times, it doesn't matter anymore because there is an optimal route, and if like your dialogue options decide which route you go, then you take a certain one for brevity's sake and all that kind of thing to be efficient. And then my biggest gripe about the Old Republic was not only their microtransactions, which were just garbage, but when they did their whole free-to-play thing, they really did not do that well. I mean, they gatekeep the game, so much of the game behind a paywall. For instance, Elder Scrolls Online. you can do free to play. You have to buy the expansions or whatever, but you don't have to sub to play the game. And you can do everything in Elder Scrolls Online. Now, subbing makes it where you have all the X packs instead of having to buy them individually, and gives you a reagent bag. But other than that, you can do basically everything. In Star Wars: The Old Republic, you can only do like 2 battlegrounds a day, 2 dungeons a day. I don't even think it's a day. I think it was like a week. It was even worse. And hopefully they've changed it to a day, but it was like a week. You could do 2 flashpoints, 2 operations, which were the PvP battlegrounds, 1 raid. That's it. And your fucking inventory was super crippled. And, you know, you couldn't, like, there was so much you couldn't do. And I was like, yeah, no, fuck these guys. Like, I'm not gonna play this game in this state. Like, that's terrible. Yeah, the credit cap. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The credit cap. It actually capped how much money you could have in game. And that amount of money was paltry. Like, it wasn't enough to afford the gear that you could get in the game to make yourself competitive. It was terrible. EVE Online free-to-play is also super gatekeepy. Well, yeah. Well, I played EVE when it was only a sub to play, or at least you could, you know, play in-game. Because, you know, back in the day, Plex was a currency in the game that you could earn and then thus pay for your sub with Plex. Plex still exists, but it's not how it used to be. And they were one of the first games to do that. And honestly, EVE did it right. Like, they did a pretty good job. I do agree with you, Wolf. Free to play without the reagent bag and ESO is rough. But if also you don't craft, it just means you have less shit you can store to sell later. But yes, yeah, that one is rough, but it's nowhere near as rough as all the gatekeeping that Star Wars: The Old Republic has going on. That is terrible. You can still buy time using Plus with ISK, but it's basically you have to treat it. Yeah, no, that's very true. As someone who ran a mining corp in EVE for a few years, it spreadsheets in space, it was a job. And I got tired of working after work. I even tried to go back to EVE. When I was first working from home, like when I got out of the military and I got my first IT job working like 100% remote, I was like, yeah, I could play EVE, like, you know, on one of my other monitors while I'm at work. Because, you know, EVE is just a lot of management bullshit.
Calicos.
Dude, it's just mentally exhausting.
Good to see you.
I could not play EVE and also still hold down a normal adult job. Because EVE is basically a normal adult job.
This is not the end of the Kirin Tor.
That's another big thing. Yeah, I agree with you, Wolf. I would tell people, like, even while I was playing EVE, I don't think I ever streamed it really. But while I was playing EVE, I had friends like, oh yeah, what are you playing? And I'd tell them about it. Like, honestly, dude, you're not going to want to play this. There's a lot to learn. Like, the learning curve is huge in EVE.
Not yet.
It is damn near insurmountable.
To see Dalaran's ruins again,
but with that, doubled with the fact that the player base, the PvPers specifically,
come.
The player base is a bit gatekeepy, but extremely elitist. And they chase away new players because there are many people who will gank you until you log out or delete your character. And that is their #1 form of entertainment. And in EVE, you don't get an option. You know, PvP is PvP. Like, you go out of high-sec space
what would have happened
and you get fucking ratted. Oh, fucking well. I mean, shit, it happened in high-sec space. I remember when I first started my little mining corp with my friends, I actually went in a legitimate clan war with a guy who just kept hunting us down, like me and my 2 friends, just continuously hunted us down. His name was Jibba Jabba. I'll never fucking forget it. That character. And he kept fucking suicide bombing all of my mining equipment. Like, pod out, I'd come back, I'd get another venture, I'd come back out there because that's how I wanted to play. And that motherfucker would find me and blow me up again. It was, I had to like get some friends who played Eve and like were like, you know, nullsec, stealth bomber kind of assholes to like start playing the game again and come and help me fight this asshole so I could actually enjoy my game. Because he just hunted me down for years, or not for years, for weeks. It was insane. I could text a couple of guys right now, have them pop in the stream and validate, like, yeah, I had to have them log in and help me just so I could start my mining corporation in the game and like grind up enough to get my orca, because just this one asshole and his two friends kept hunting us down like we were rare animals. And that's exactly what it was. Yeah, the guy just kept ratting, kept just throwing a generic spawn ship at me because he got his rocks off, ruining my fucking day. Did I see Pirate's video on Eve? I've probably seen clips of it, but usually if I don't catch Pirate live, I don't see a lot of his content until it's in like short form. But if you link that to me on Discord, I'll definitely look at it. I'm sure I will agree with a lot of what he has to say when it comes to how jobby Eve is and how terrible the community is with Eve. To each other. Like, don't get me wrong, you'll find plenty of people who are extremely nice and helpful to new players. You will find twice as many people who will camp you until you stop playing the game. And anybody who's played Eve before is probably nodding along like, yeah, that's Eve. Aren't you in Faust's Discord? I am. I very much like PvP in games, Wolf. I will play PvE servers. Usually what I'll do is like when I pick up a game for the first time, I'll play a PvE server until I learn the game, and then I'll go chasing PvP. In games that are just immediately PvP, like so Ashes of Creation, which, you know, is PvP, I don't mind world PvP. I used to play on PvP servers in WoW. I used to be an asshole that ganked people. I am one of those people. I'm reformed, and I still enjoy PvP though. At the end of the day, I was one of those people.
I never had a portal trap me that way.
And
you saved my life, my friend.
It's just changed. It's changed a lot over the years. And not only how I play, but just like how I do games in general. And so yeah, I enjoy PvE to learn or to play with friends that are PvE. That's perfectly fine. I don't only play PvP games, but I do enjoy PvP in games when it's there and when it's done properly.
Be patient.
I think Ashes have done a really good job when it comes to ganking PvP protections. Like, honestly, their penalties for ganking people pretty fucking harsh in Ashes, and I appreciate that. You know, that's one of the reasons I stopped playing Black Desert Online. Me and wifey both loved BDO. We played it a lot.
Quickly as she arrived,
BDO didn't give you an option to just opt out of PvP, which honestly was all wifey needed to keep playing. To just opt out of PvP and just run her caravans and do her fishing. But because every time she had to go to a high-level place to get, you know, materials or whatever, she'd get ganked for 30 minutes and not be able to do anything. So she stopped fucking playing.
Ah, I see. Well,
see the message on Discord, the link.
Maybe.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I'll definitely take a look.
Have you ever heard
yeah, exactly,
of a
Mike.
Tuskar chieftain named Panoliak?
Exactly. It's been nearly 20 years, and that's how it is. You remember playing BDO with you guys was fun, except for that part. Yeah, I enjoyed BDO, and I enjoyed the PvP. I remember, you know, getting you and Reapers, and God, who else was playing with us back then? There was a handful of us. We had a little guild going. And, you know, we go and, you know, if I got into PvP or even if wifey was getting ganked, I could pop in
This
guild
is a
chat like, hey
worst-case
guys, come help,
scenario.
and we'd go PvP
We
and have
only have
fun,
ourselves to blame.
but it was 5v5, or, you know, even 3v5. There were times, I was actually pretty decent at BDO PvP and kick some ass on my warrior. I could 1v3 many people, or sometimes I'd just get straight up rifle stomped by somebody with really good gear. Kind of depended. But at the end of the day, it got to a point where I was so far in the game, in the end game, that I could only go to places to where people were actively ganking each other over, you know, grinding spots. And that, it was already hard enough for me to just, to grind because you had to. You know what I mean? There are times where, like, if I want to choose to grind in a game because I have a specific goal in mind, or I'm trying to be efficient in my time, sure, I'll do that. What I dislike is when a game forces you to grind, or when that's like the whole mechanic, which basically is, you know, insert all Korean MMOs in that same bucket.
Xalatath will face
I don't
the
like being
disentangle the bomb's
forced
power
to
sources while I
grind
suppress it.
the same shit,
cannot
doing
allow
the
the
same
mana
thing
bomb to
for
detonate.
hours on end and days. So, I don't fucking like that. Give me an option. If I choose to grind, cool. In games like that, I don't like that bullshit. Yeah, exactly. There's a whole bunch of times, and granted, that was like that in WoW too, because I played on a PvP server, played on Illidan, which was at the time a PvP server. It's still in Legion. They didn't come out with that whole war mode thing till Battle for Azeroth. And so when Wifey started playing WoW, she was playing on Illidan, a PvP server. And there were times when she was leveling her mage, and she was like, hey, you know, I'm out in Western Plaguelands and I got ganked. I could reach out in guild chat, me and the boys, we'd pop in, come to the rescue, and Wifey had no problems. Yeah, she'd dive once in a while to somebody, but then I'd come over on my very geared PvP Death Knight and camp someone till they logged out because they dared to gank my Wifey. Grind, Meldivore Idol.
Now, champion, realign the
shit.
mana bomb's
Okay.
matrix.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the agreement for Wifey agreeing to come play on a PvP server. It was like, look, babe, it's gonna happen occasionally. Like, people are gonna PvP you. If you don't fight back, usually they'll kind of fuck off and leave you alone. However, not always the case. So all you need to do is either be in Discord with us or get on Discord with me and the boys, and we'll fix that. And we did several times. And Wifey loves WoW. She'll come back to it eventually. So you've played dude, I have played a lot of MMOs. Remember, I'm an old. Been around for a while. And olds, well, we have a tendency to play lots of video games. And I've played them all as they come out. You know, I played Star Wars Galaxies, I played WoW, I played Terra, I played Aeon, I played Guild Wars 2, Rift, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 14. Like, fucking list them, dude. I've probably played it.
We have averted a great catastrophe, champion.
I have Guild Wars 2. I haven't put a lot of time in it. I think I, like, made a character, actually. I'll be honest, I have Guild Wars 2. Barely touched it. I played the original Guild Wars. Okay, I don't even know what that acronym is, Hungry.
Dalaran. Another
Like,
home
okay, yeah,
lost
Dark
to
Age of
war.
Camelot, sure. Gloria Victus, absolutely.
We will brave this darkness together. This bomb should not have been
Aladd's?
built.
Okay, yeah, I don't even know what the hell that is. So no, I haven't played that one.
Leadership is to blame.
One of few. I've played a
We are
lot.
all complicit and must atone for it.
I have played a lot.
I will dispose of the bomb.
Lord of the Rings
Destroy
Online?
the
Yep,
other
sure did.
artifacts, and meet me in the tranquil.
I played a lot of Lord of the Rings Online. I actually played a lot of that Conan game, the other MMO before they came out with Exiles. God, what the fuck was it? It was also Funcom. It was an MMO. It was another Conan game. What was it? I think it's the Age of Conan. Is that what it was? Played the shit out of that. I played Neverwinter, which is actually still a pretty good MMO. It's a free-to-play a D&D MMO. God, I should go back and check that out sometime. Neverwinter was the very first game I streamed. I streamed Neverwinter when it was early access, like, brand new. Guys, that was a long time ago. My very first stream was Neverwinter. Also, it goes to show how long I've been fucking streaming. So you played 11, but wasn't able to afford it at the time. Didn't go back later. Played WoW, Aeon, Rift, Eve, Guild Wars 2 before the expansion. 14 before and after ARR, SWTOR, and Lotro. Nice. SWTOR was your first MMO. I actually tried WoW like twice before a long time ago and just couldn't get into it. That's fair. I think the biggest thing that a lot of people, now I've tried to get a lot of people into WoW over the years because I've played a lot of WoW over the years. I think one of the biggest things about getting someone new to play WoW as a WoW veteran, right? Patience, and don't try to convince people to level up like stupid fast and, you know, efficiently to get to the end game if they don't want to. Now, granted, in my opinion, as a longtime WoW player, that is the best way to do WoW, is just blast through, get max level, then learn how to play your class. It is more efficient. It fucking is. It's not as much of a time sink that way. And when you have somebody who's knowledgeable, I could level you from 0 to 80 in a day just running dungeons, because I know what dungeons to run. I have the characters to do it for you, and you just follow me along and we can level you. But that's not really a good way to play World of Warcraft. I would say you need to have someone to level with you. I think that would make a big difference. Okay, where? Oh, there it is. Can't remember where that was on my bar. Tried it once a long time ago, and then like a year ago I tried it again. Still couldn't get into it. Yeah, it's just all about who you play with, I think. I mean, I am biased when it comes to WoW. I have a lot of reasons I can argue why WoW is still a very good MMO, and I think everyone could enjoy it or find something they enjoy about it if they gave it a chance. It is definitely among my favorites. I still say Star Wars Galaxies is still the best MMO ever made. Fucking fight me. And I do still occasionally play it on a private server. But I love WoW. I love a lot of things about WoW. I dislike a lot of things about WoW too. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's the perfect game. I would never mislead you guys like that. But yeah, that's what I was saying. I do think that if you had someone to level with... Take that damn portal back. If you had someone to level with, I think that would make a huge difference in playing World of Warcraft for you. If you ever wanted to try again, I can do a recruit a friend thing, and so that way you can at least play for a month without having to pay. I would suggest that. But I don't know how often I'm personally going to be playing. I did resub, and I did an extended resub, so like I will have a sub for a while. I usually do a 6-month sub, so I'll have it for a while and be able to log in. And I will be playing off stream a lot because, I mean, a lot of you are in here talking to me right now, but typically a lot of my community could care less about World of Warcraft, or the community I've built over the years and that has stuck around. A lot of them could care less about WoW. WoW used to be a pretty good game to stream back in Legion for me, but not a lot of y'all really care for it, so I probably won't stream a ton of it. Especially when I'm in the kind of scenario where I'm in now, where it's like I'm playing catch up. I'm running around doing quests and whatnot, and then also I'm gathering materials and all that, and then I got to do dungeons, which will be a lot of repetitive dungeon running. Also, I can then PvP at a higher level and do Mythic Pluses, which are better content to stream. But even then, my community don't really care too much for the game. Now, granted, I'm playing it anyway because I play what I enjoy and have fun with. That's just how I do things. I change games a lot. That's not always the best thing, but I do. Because I just like many different things. But I also still want to stream and have a good time, and it's not fun streaming to just yourself. So I, won't play a game a lot of that people could care less about watching. Not to mention, super saturated on Twitch, hard to grow, yada, yada, yada. Won't be anybody new showing up, most likely. Is what it is. And I recognize these things. All right, look at your first and last post if you're right. This is playing MMOs with wifey on a PvP server. Let's see. Oh, yeah. As soon as I saw the scene opening, so yeah, I need you to do something. You can't ask any questions. It's, that scene where Affleck's talking to Jeremy Renner. He's like, bro, we got to go hurt some people, and you can't ask questions. He's like, all right, cool, your car or mine? Yeah, that's MMOs playing with wifey that have PvP. That's for damn sure. I agree with you. All right, now we gotta go back to the east or the west over here. I assume your car and mine's in the shop. I'm confused. What? You remember a bit of Age of Conan? I don't think you got past mid-game. Yeah, I see that, Wolf. You even played Maple Story for a while. No, that was not one that I could be like, yeah, I want to give that a go. Nope. Not one that grabbed my interest. Man, Rift was a really good time. Rift was a fun one. Oh, where's the guy? Turn to Lady Jaina Prowlmore. The Tranquil Stand. I'm at the Tranquil Stand. Where's Jaina? I think my game kind of weirded out on me. There's something.
More mages have arrived in our absence, champion. That is
holy shit. That was a lot of lag right there. Wow. Silly Skip. I am silly. Yeah, but I don't know what you're talking about. When I tried WoW again, I made this panda character because like, ooh, a panda race, and literally went to the game, killed a few things in the starting zone, and just logged off. Yes, Mike, I did look at it as soon as the ad started, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I love that scene from that movie. You enjoyed Rift until it had a few bad encounters with other players who didn't understand my class and acted like massive asshats. Yeah, it'd be like that. Jaina? Dude, what is happening? Is this quest being weird? Yeah, we found and destroyed the artifacts, right? Whoa. Dude, what is going on? Preserve the legacy. Okay. Bro, there is something fucking strange happening out here. Is this quest bugged, or is something weird happening to just me, or...
Don't worry about me.
What's happening?
In time.
I got both these quests done to come talk to Jaina. Maybe I should relog. Yeah, that's weird. Well, let me just... I'll reload the UI first, but I may have to relog out of the game. I don't know. That's strange. Thank you, World of Warcraft, for extending your loading screen to actually cover the entire monitor for someone like me who has an ultra-wide. Yeah. Well, even now, see, this is still, like, taking me forever. Dude, something weird's happening. I know today was WoW patch day, but that's already happened. Okay. Well, that was weird. Relaunching. Don't really know what it is. Just cannot seem to get into it. No, I get that, Jackie. Like I said, I think you just kind of probably jumped into it, you know, expecting certain things or just got lost and didn't have someone help you. It's a very, very social game. It's not... It is a lot more nowadays for solo players than it ever has been, but it's still a very social MMO, and you know you need to have people help you in the beginning, I think, and that makes it a lot better. Running solo just makes it hard to get into. I can totally get that. That's how I was in WoW, actually. Like, I played when... I mean, I beta tested WoW. I played WoW when it first came out, and I did some on my own, and it was okay, but my guild mates and people that I played SWG with took priority because I had people to play with. I came back to WoW. I played it off and on sporadically. A couple guys in high school would hit me up like, oh, you play WoW? Cool, let's play. And I played for like a weekend with them. I didn't really start playing WoW until like right when Burning Crusade was about to launch. No, right? It was after Burning Crusade launched. Yeah, because this is 2000... This is 2006 that I started playing it again and like really started playing WoW. So it was 2006. Trapped in an MMO, but nothing works correctly. Very confusing isekai anime, to be honest. Wait, is that a joke about what's happening right now, or is that an actual thing? And I asked that because there's just ridiculous titled isekais out there, and I love trash isekais, so I just didn't know if that's an actual thing or you're making fun of the way WoW's being right now. Okay, other people are moving. Maybe it's fixed. Both sorta. It's a reference to an anime. Oh, God. I've read some of Trapped in a VR MMO. Looks like it gets some weird bugs or broken systems. Yeah, there are some that have done that really good. Gate is really good.
More mages have arrived in our absence, champion. That is
no.
To see.
Not Gate. Hold on. Steins Gate. Is it Steins Gate? Fuck. There's a couple of them. Log Horizon. Yeah, Log Horizon is really goddamn good. I mean, of course, I like Sword Art Online. Log Horizon's super good. Probably the better of them all, to be honest. There's a couple really good manga that I've read that, you know, did it right, but not as many anime. That made it to being anime.
Azeroth must be protected.
Oh, yeah, I love Overlord. Overlord's really good.
We will brave.
You know, honestly, after a while, I kind of forgot it was a Trapped in an MMO. I just considered it like a normal isekai. Just like, you know, went to a fantasy world. I forgot that, you know, Ainz's character is based on an MMO, and like all of Nazarick and all the, you know, the NPCs were built by his guildmates. Like, I remember that now. But yeah, it didn't even cross my mind like, oh yeah, that was based on an MMO.
Of the Alliance.
Forgot about that. Overlord is really good too. Like, I've read the light novels.
Everyone brought a memento of
it's good. I like it a lot.
We lost to commit to the ocean.
Yeah, he just stayed logged in when the server shut down and got spirited away. That's right. Yeah, Log Horizon's really good, Hungry. I like that one a lot. There's a couple that do it pretty nicely, like Reincarnated Heavy Knight. I like that one. Wait, I gotta place them on the boats. Okay. Boat.
We must acknowledge our past errors and correct our course.
No matter how
Oh, I've seen that one. I think I'd enjoy it,
as we
but I haven't.
Lost.
I haven't watched it.
As we send them off.
Quality assurance, another word. Yeah, it definitely seems like one I'd enjoy.
Face the future and become stronger.
Dalaran, another home lost to war.
Ooh, what's this? Definitely didn't trim this for an ultra wide. Dude, Wolf, me too. Have you read the Vigil series, Wolf? They're so good. It's actually written by a Marine Corps vet too. It's hilarious. Ooh, good. I've actually been wanting to pick up Primal Hunter. You like it? Also, the Vigil Bound series that I read, there's 4 books right now. There's planned for more, but there's currently 4 books. And I like the narrator because I listen to the audiobooks of those. I like the narrator for those.
I'm glad
James A. Hunter, I believe, is the author. Vigil Bound. Yep, James A. Hunter.
Agreed. We must move forward with intention.
You sub to the author's Patreon so you can read chapters as they release. Ooh, nice. That's awesome,
I admit,
man.
I was blinded by the ivory towers of Dalaran.
Yeah, I got them on Amazon.
I believe the Kirin Tor's wisdom was nigh infallible.
I've been wanting to pick up Primal Hunter.
Let us pledge, then, that the new Kirin Tor will be different. No more consuls, no more floating cities, and no more meddling in world affairs.
So frustrated with the computer stuff right now. Built a new PC, seems to start up fine with the SSD from this one installed in it. I get nothing on the monitor.
For all of us.
You get nothing on the monitor.
Because this old man
Like, you're not even seeing the BIOS?
I will go to Donegal to rest, and then start rebuilding the
Do you have
connections
do you have post speakers plugged in, Mike? Like the little bitty speakers you can plug into the Mobo to get your beeps, your post beeps,
Dragon
or
Isles can endure
some
a longer
motherboards actually do have like a fault ID detector and will give you a number.
More mages are
If you have post speakers, I'd recommend using them. You might have just not plugged in something properly. Honestly, number one thing forgotten about when people build PCs and then like they have issues starting it up, and this is not to insult anybody's intelligence, but it happens. I did it myself. Did you plug in the fucking power for your CPU on the top left portion of your motherboard? That gets missed a lot. Just throwing that out there. That you won't be able to post, and you won't see nothing on the monitor, even though you get power to your PC, if you don't have your CPU plugged in. Okay. No, not just the power, but specifically the CPU power on the motherboard. And make sure, yeah, your switchology on your power supply is proper. I mean, there's a lot of things you can try that I can just like throw at you, but I'm sure you've done a lot. You're not a dumb guy. You know, you know things. You've done stuff. You've been around the block a time or 3. I could have swore I got some more of those. Yeah, those things. All right. Well, that finishes the Dalaran quest. Now we're going to do Lingering Shadows. It's going to go back to Hollowfall. Ooh, I'm on my kitty mount. Look at that kitty. Whoosh. Go fast, kitty. Running through the sky on a magic kitty. They said it worked with a different SSD install. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah? That's true too. So it boots up with the SSD you have in your current PC, but not a different one you had in there. Ooh, forgot the spacers. Yeah, that can do it. CPU power connection happens. PSU power connection, or like the power switch on the power supply, that can definitely be a thing. He's getting power. So I'm assuming this SSD, you know, is it like a SATA SSD or is it like an NVMe? Is it connecting, you know, is it like a little RAM stick looking bad boy, or is it like a traditional hard drive? Traditional SSD at least. But yeah, if you're not able to get the post to BIOS, now, does it have integrated graphics, or are you running off of a graphics card? CPU says it has ongoing graphics. I've plugged into the MOBO HDMI. Okay, so you're doing that too. And you don't have a graphics card installed at all? Or you do, and you're just bypassing it because it's not producing video? SATA. Okay, so it's a SATA. Okay. On your SATA, do you have both the SATA power and the SATA, like, data cable plugged in? Maybe you forgot to put the flat power connector in. Also check where that power connector is on your power supply and make sure it's plugged in properly. Usually that ribbon wire that has those SATA power connections has like 4 or 5 connections on it. You have both cables in SATA, okay. Have you tried a different SATA port on your motherboard? I don't know if it's still a thing on motherboards, but I have seen it before to where there is a particular boot SATA port on the motherboard. So like, even though there may be like 6 SATA ports, there is one of them that is essentially labeled to be intended for your boot drive. And if you don't have your boot drive plugged into that one, it's not going to post properly. I've seen it. I don't know what motherboard you have, but I do know that those have been a thing before. And usually it's the off-color. So if it does have like a dedicated boot SATA port, like say like all your SATA ports are black, but that one will be white or like beige color. So where a lot of times they're like cars. Sometimes the simplest and cheapest solution works. Yep, that. As someone who has worked on cars, you know, like worked on classic cars and actually, you know, did some work in a mechanic shop, then became an aircraft mechanic, and is now an IT guy. Yes, to all of that. Yeah, so most of the ones you had a dedicated SATA port. Like, my last 2 motherboards I've had did not have a dedicated boot SATA port. But the ones I've had prior to those last 2 have. For whatever reason, I guess the Asus Tough series motherboards that I've been getting the last couple of times, there's not like a dedicated boot SATA. But also in my last 2 builds, I have changed my boot to be an NVMe, so it's kind of been irrelevant also. Here's the basics of the build. Your requested part list is private there, Mike. Just so you know. Lingering shit. This is not even the quest that I'm here to do. But I'm here. There's a whole nother quest over here. It's not the one I was flying to come do. But hey!
Greetings, outsider.
Flames, Radiance. Oh, these are all a whole bunch of
For the Empire.
dailies, weekly stuff. Okay. I got scared for a minute that I was PvPing. I was like, oh god, what happened? I'm not in war mode right now, am I? No, I'm not. So where the fuck is this quest? Return to Illyria since Blackblood in Hollowfall. Oh, over there. Okay. Dual or even tri-boot subs are more common, as is NVMe for boot. Yeah, true too. If you can't fix it with hot glue, duct tape, and zip ties, it can't be fixed. You forgot to throw WD-40 in there. Just remember on like the holy diagram, does it move and it's not supposed to? Duct tape. Is it supposed to move and it doesn't move? WD-40. If duct tape doesn't work alone, zip ties. Like, yeah, there are certain unalienable facts about mechanics, and those are some of those things. I'm gonna find that graphic for you. Hold on. Duct tape graphic. Duct tape and what was it? Duct tape and WD-40. I'm gonna find it. Yep, there it is. The engineering flowchart. I'm putting it in my Discord right now in the media channel. I'll link it in fucking Twitch chat too. Ooh, that is not it. Yeah, that's some shit from Star Wars. Let's see, I'll copy the link to the photo now that I've put it in Discord. Oop, that thing. Long link, I didn't clean it up. Takes you to the same fucking place though. Alright. Whee! Oh yeah, look at that. That fell Drake. Originally a TCG item, and then they brought it back into the game for an event. I'll have a few of those TCG items.
Do not lose hope, Hanan. They will be safe. I have seen it.
Yeah, all of you died. WD-40 and duct tape is classic. It's true. It's not even so much classic. Like, you know why it's classic? It's because it's an actual thing. So, I used to have an uncle who would race dirt track. Now, some of you may not be Americans, some of you may not be fucking rednecks, so let me explain. So, you know how NASCAR is a thing? Alright, so you know how baseball has major leagues and minor league. Dirt track racing is minor league NASCAR. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's stock cars on dirt on a smaller track.
The roots brought
People race.
us both here.
I've had family who are dirt track racers. That's how I learned how to be a mechanic. Was my uncle who used to race dirt track, and he had friends who raced dirt track. Had a cousin who raced dirt track.
Right now.
I helped them work on their cars. You know, I had a classic truck. You know, I worked on my own truck.
Can still see this through.
And I learned working on dirt track cars that, yes, indeed, WD-40 and duct tape are used on a lot of things. And I mean, and to be real, as a former aircraft mechanic, I can tell you that even though it's different, it's not so much duct tape as it's called speed tape, 100-mile-an-hour tape, which is duct tape, but it's got a metal backing instead of a net mesh. And that stuff, you'd be surprised how much epoxy and duct tape, or speed tape, hold together airplanes. Like airliners, like the things you travel in to go across the world and the country. There are things you don't want to know. Nuclear grade adhesive tape. Yeah. Exactly. I didn't know you were a nuke troop though, Wolf. I remember you being Navy. I don't remember you were a nuke troop. But yeah, I mean, that stuff is still the same thing. Like speed tape, dude. Some of those like adhesives, they are serious business. Like I'm not joking when I say yeah, there's a lot of duct tape on airplanes. But again, it's that special stuff, and it is strong. Like it holds aircraft panels together during flight. Like it's strong stuff. But also, yes, airplanes are held together by duct tape and dreams. Duct tape and dreams. And a lot of swear words. Oh, that's also true. Nuke machineless, mate? Jesus, you worked on the engines. Like sub and carrier engines? Or reactors for their engines? Duct tape fixes most things. But I think what people tend to forget, those who really do live by the mantra, if you can't duck it, fuck it. Remember kids, duct tape is a temporary fix. It is not intended to be a permanent one. Too many people use duct tape as a permanent solution to a problem that should just be, you know, taped up till we get home and can fix it proper. Not, it's fixed because it's duct taped. No. Nuclear grade adhesive tape is basically duct tape that uses high grade glues that won't chemically react with clean systems. Right on.
What do you want?
Go. It breaks again, just use more tape.
Enough of these.
Link should be open now. All right, thanks, Mike. It was the same PC parts as you? Works well because it's strong, but it's not permanent. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, let me look back at this PC pot picker here. So you have a Ryzen 7, nice cooler, Asus, tough gaming. Okay. So it's actually the same motherboard, or nearly the same motherboard I currently have. It's just yours is for a Ryzen, mine's for Intel. So I don't believe this motherboard has a dedicated boot SATA. I said it's slightly different from the one I have, but I do have the Asus Tough Gaming. You know, I have the Tough Gaming case and the graphics card and the motherboard. I don't think this model has a dedicated boot SATA, but I would look and try a different SATA connection just in case. And also, Mike, just state the obvious. Sometimes what it takes. Have you tried whatever hard drive you're intending to be your boot drive for the new computer on your old one, just to make sure you don't have a dead drive? Because I know you said that it works if you take the drive out of your current computer, but have you put the new drive in your old computer and just made sure that the drive wasn't formatted incorrectly, corrupted, or just DOA? Because that can happen. You can get a brand new hard drive out of the box, especially solid state drives, and it be dead. Now, granted, no fault of your own, most likely. They're not like really fragile when it comes to shorts and whatnot, but yeah, faulty drives happen. And it's actually more common for a faulty hard drive and faulty RAM than basically anything else. Those are the two things that I have seen the most, both in my professional career as IT, but also as a gamer who builds his own PCs. Those are the things that are most common bad out of the box: RAM and hard drives. Yeah, honestly, M2s are just, I understand having to wait, but I'll tell you now, keep an eye out. They usually go in really good sales, and they are extremely I remember building my first like real gaming PC and like not gaming on laptops again in like 2013, right before wifey and I got married, actually. And I remember even then, like SSDs were just getting down to like, you know, $1 a gig for an SSD. And back then, you know, a $250 or 250 gig SSD for $75 was a fucking steal. Now you can get a terabyte NVMe for $75. That's insane.
The Nerubians are attacking Tanir's ascent.
I've actually seen like the Sony 850 Evo like NVMe, or not Sony, Samsung, the Samsung Evo SSDs, or excuse me, NVMEs, go that low in prices. So just keep an eye out, dude. Yeah, even then, $100 for 500 gigs isn't bad for like, you know, a certain like write speed and shit like that. Always look at that too, because sometimes you're paying for the brand, not for the specs. So always look at that first. I'm a big fan of Kingston, HyperX. Kingston makes HyperX. I'm a big fan of Kingston drives, and I really like my Samsung hard drives. In fact, I'd say the majority of my hard drives right now, both of my NVMEs, all 4 of my SSDs, they're all Samsung. They're great. I'm a big fan of what works. Big fan of what works. And those haven't steered me wrong yet. I've had Z-Skill. Z-Skill's pretty good too, and they're usually on the cheaper side of hard drives. But they also have an issue with manufacturing processes, and there have been plenty of times that they've gotten, like, you know, DOA hard drives. I've known people that gotten them. So Samsung, good. Kingston, good. Seagate. You know, Seagate's always been a trusted hard drive name. Can't go wrong with Seagate. Western Digital. Like, they are the big names in hard drives for a reason. Yeah, that's what I asked earlier. I think he was getting nothing, Wolf. Because if I remember right, yeah, he wasn't getting BIOS or anything. Which is what led me to believe, like, maybe you just don't have it plugged into the right place, or, you know, it led me to believe with the CPU power thing. Because it, like, you should get at least to the motherboard BIOS. Even if your hard drive isn't working, motherboard BIOS, you should get to. And if you're not, then there's something else wrong. Like that, like, it's not posting. And you've checked, I'm going to ask, I'm sure you have, but you've checked all of your motherboard connections. Everything's seated properly. Everything's got power. Everything's plugged in where it should be and secured. Like clicked into place, because many of them, you know, lock into place. And as long as you don't have a KF series graphics, or you don't have an Intel anyway, so I don't know what the equivalent of that is in AMD. But the KF series, like what I have a KF, or, you know, a 9th gen KF. So the K meaning I can overclock it. The F meaning it does not have integrated onboard graphics. So if my graphic card dies, I do not have a way to use my computer.
I don't have a target.
And what connection are you using to your monitor? Are you doing HDMI? Are you doing DisplayPort? Are you doing USB-C? You may want to try that out too. Hell, man, it could be just as simple as you got a bad cord. You know, sometimes it's that kind of shit. Like your HDMI cord is shot because you've used the same HDMI cord for 20 fucking years, like most of us. So That could be the case. Start small.
I do not know you.
At the end of the day, remember this acronym. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Start with the easy shit. Check your power connections. Check that you're seated. Check that it has power. And then turn around and look at other things. Like, okay, cool. Well, I am using a video cable that either came with my monitor or one that I've recycled over the years from computer to computer to monitor to monitor. Maybe try changing those out, because that is a line replaceable unit that is both easy to come by and cheap. Like, you can buy an HDMI cable at fucking Dollar General. So those are always things that are worth looking at. Keep it simple. That is the best way to troubleshoot.
What is it? Farewell then.
I've learned a lot of this with aircraft troubleshooting, but I tend to basically, if you know your foundational knowledge, you know how it's supposed to work, then you just backtrace from there. Okay, it's supposed to boot and post. Did it boot and post, yes or no? Okay, so it booted, but I don't have video. Okay, well, let's work backwards. Is my monitor on, yes or no? Is it selected to the right feed, yes or no? Is the cord good, yes or no? And just work your way back. Mobo has HDMI on board. The CPU says it has onboard Radeon graphics. I have the vid card installed, but the drivers aren't there for it because the old PC uses the other type. Doesn't matter. If you have the old video card installed, plug it into your video card. There are going to be generic drivers that allow you to get things like your motherboard, your BIOS. You don't have to, like, your graphics card isn't inoperable because you don't have the drivers installed. That's not how they work. There is firmware and drivers already on it that initially get installed like the moment you boot the motherfucker. So plug it into your, if you have the graphics card plugged into your computer, then the graphics card is what's producing the video, not your CPU. So don't plug it into the motherboard, plug it into your graphics card. Like, that's number one. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I get it. At no point am I attempting to insult your intelligence or talk down to you in any way, and if it comes across that way, I apologize. But no. Just like I said, trying to list the simple things to look at to help you troubleshoot it while I'm playing World of Warcraft. Yeah, so that would be the first thing I would do right now without disconnecting or changing anything. Move the cord to the graphics card, boot it up, see what happens. Hey, that's always it, man. Hey, because sometimes the answer may be duh, of course, but then you go back and double check and it's not. You know what I mean? Like, again, Wolf mentioned it earlier, and I'll admit to doing it myself. You know, the whole, like, forgetting the CPU power thing. I've done that. I did that building a friend's PC for him while teaching him how to build a PC. I looked like an idiot. And of course, you know, first thing wifey does was like, hey, did you plug in everything? I'm like, of course I did. And then I'm like, did I? And I went and looked, and I fucking didn't. So I felt like a real asshole. And it happens. So it's best to have somebody to help you troubleshoot and bounce ideas. And, you know, even if you're like, I'm certain I did it, fucking check anyway. You might have missed it.
Come, Cache. Let us get back to the others and see to your wounds.
Doing the Lingering Shadows questline. I really like the story in World of Warcraft. When I logged in today, I was like, I need to gear up so I can run Mythic Plus and PvP. What am I doing? Talking with you guys and catching up in the story.
I shall watch for you.
That's okay.
May you lend
I
your
like that.
song to
This is
her.
again one of the many reasons
Let
I
me
love World of
check that
Warcraft
you
and keep
are
coming
safe.
back to it. It's a game that
We must
I'm very
recover
comfortable
before
playing.
continuing our fight.
I could mute this game, listen to music, or just bullshit with you guys and still get just as much done. Now, if I'm PvPing or running Mythic Pluses, no, I need to pay attention to my game and I won't yap quite as much, especially because I'll probably be coordinating. I mean, some of you guys have been around back when I did a lot of like serious WoW PvP and I did like rated battlegrounds and was high rated and shit. And y'all know that, there are times where it's like, okay, I'm not going to be paying attention to chat or talking to you guys because I am trying to coordinate with 20 other motherfuckers and how to kill the other 20 motherfuckers in this battleground. But most of the time in WoW, it's just me aimlessly like running around, jumping and flying and, mining things while I'm talking to you guys. And I like that. It is fun to just go into comfortable familiarity and just exist for a while. Another one of those things that I like about WoW. And I do that in Warframe too, actually. Both Warframe and World of Warcraft, I can play the game, actively be playing and unlocking and doing things, but it kind of be like a second nature running on autopilot kind of thing. And so I can multitask immensely doing certain things in those games, in World of Warcraft and Warframe both. This was named. Usually good to go to the UFI BIOS before booting to OS anyway to verify BIOS settings are correct and identify any problems that might prevent the OS from getting the boot properly. It also gives you the opportunity to flash the BIOS firmware if you got it on a thumb drive or working PC. True. Unless you have an Asus motherboard in which you can do your flash drive, your motherboard BIOS flash as long as you have an internet connection. You don't even have to put it on a thumb drive. You can just have it pull it directly online. It's nice. I still do the thumb drive anyway. A lot of the time just because that is usually faster, but it can do it. Honestly, I don't know how many computers you guys put together, but I do a lot for my job, right? And so I have to provision a lot of machines with Windows. And I'll tell you this, Dell specifically has been really upsetting me with their BIOS settings because every laptop that we get from Dell now, and I get to provision it with our copy of Windows 11 and all of our provisioning software and like Avanti and all the other things we use. In order for the computer to take a load of Windows, I have had to go into the BIOS, Dell's BIOS, and disable RAID on a single hard drive laptop. A 256 gig NVMe laptop was set on RAID by default. And also it had like TPM security settings turned on and it had virtualization turned on. And none of those things play nicely with automated provisioning software or doing like a Pixie. Does not work out very well with that. And so every computer we get now, which of course the university I work with has a service contract with Dell, I have to do that on the BIOS every damn time. It's really annoying. For my personal PCs, I probably do a build every 6 years at most. But I, do a fresh copy of Windows install, especially during the summer, because we're about to get like a bunch of new computers for like classrooms and new faculty. And we have like our 4-year, we refresh tech for faculty because that's when the warranties run out. Every summer we have probably anywhere between 40 and 70 new computers that we have to provision and set up, like between the months of June and August. And that's just in my office.
Yes.
And I'm responsible for like 5 departments. Yeah. Yeah, that's also very true.
Hanan,
Believe me, I'm certified Dell
where
technician.
are the others?
Yeah.
This
There's a
was
cert for
mistake,
that.
Orwena. Coming here, revealing ourselves to the mortals, getting caught in their affairs. You've put us all in grave peril.
Our goddess is crying out for aid. How can we not answer?
We followed you and your visions this far, but we cannot break the Haranir's traditions any longer.
It is those very traditions that put our home at risk. You've seen the growing threats here, Hanan. We cannot give up now.
The others and I are returning to the cradle to seek forgiveness. You owe it to them to face the elders by their side.
Tell the elders that the fault is mine, and mine alone. I will face them in time.
Troll elves.
But for now,
or like
my path is
proto elves, maybe.
Then you will walk it alone. I do not understand your conviction.
So these guys have lived underground for a very long time. But
I do.
If you guys remember or just know World of Warcraft lore or Warcraft lore,
may the ancient roots of our people
the trolls
thrive beneath your steps.
were one of the original sentient races on Azeroth.
Goodbye.
Elves evolved from trolls. And these guys are basically that lost link, you know, the missing link between the two. These guys were like stuck on the evolutionary path and, you know, went underground to this, you know, place deep within Azeroth and have stayed the way they are for
the black
however
blood
long.
may consume all that I care
But
about.
yes, the elves are evolved, descended from trolls. Oh, well, if you got any questions, I know quite a bit about WoW lore. I really like it. Also, if you ever wanted to learn it or just passively listen to it, Noble87 is who I would recommend. He has YouTube videos that go through all of Warcraft lore. That's in a decent order too, but he has an accent because he's European, but I think he has a great narrating voice, especially like in his later videos. His early videos are kind of rough, but you know, a lot of old YouTube is kind of rough. But I would say Noble87 is the guy. He's the guy I go to for Warcraft lore, much like Bueller is who I go to for Warcraft news. When did they say the elves came from trolls? Tens of thousands of years in Azeroth's Pass. Because it wasn't until the elves evolved from the trolls that they even... It was actually because of the discovery of the Moonwell. Like the Well of Eternity. Those arcane energies from the Well of Eternity is what made the elves evolve into what they are from the trolls. When in the franchise did they mention that? I want to say it was in Warcraft 2? It was in the one where you had the fight in Mount Hyjal. I want to say it was in that one that they actually mentioned that the first time. But it's been brought up many times since. Every time that like the trolls have been like a main baddie, like Zul'Gurub in the World of Warcraft, or Zul'Aman, the Amani trolls, the ZG trolls, of course, the Zandalari trolls being the oldest and among the first of the trolls. They were like the originals, and everyone else splintered off from the Zandalari kind of thing. That was all mentioned in Battle for Azeroth. Like, the lore is pretty spread out. But as far as, like, elves evolving from trolls due to the Well of Eternity, pretty sure that was in the second Warcraft game, because the Well of Eternity was a big part of it. And then, you know, like, the original fight with the Burning Legion.
Ladders are stretched thin.
And then, of course, you have Warcraft 3, or maybe that was Warcraft 3. I know Frozen Throne is like the Lich King Arthas stuff, but...
Darkness strikes out with threats not even our key
Yeah, I want to
friends
say it
can
was the second
dispel.
Warcraft.
Aid us, outsider. Be
When they
our
did it, because
beacon
you
in
had
the
to
darkness.
fight the big demon guy. It wasn't Kill Jaden, it was the other one. Who was it? It was, again, it was the Battle of Mount Hyjal. This was after the Well of Eternity. Obviously, the Cataclysm, you know, it blew up the world, blah, 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 split all the continents. And then they made the Moon Well under Mount Hyjal. And then this one, the big demon guy came and did that, and all the wisps are what killed him. But that's also why elves are no longer immortal, because they gave up their immortal lives in order to fight the demon and destroy him at Mount Hyjal. Archimonde. That's it. Thank you. Archimonde. Okay, they're over there. Together. Hello. So yeah, that's where that's from. But yes, Warcraft lore is in here. I know a lot of it. I'm sure there's plenty I've forgotten. But compared to most people you know, I probably know a good bit of it. Stupid space goats making elves. The space ghosts did not make elves. The Eridar did end up becoming the Draenei, but only after they fell to the Fell. And, you know, all of the mechanizations of Sargeras and the Burning Legion did the Eridar, you know, become what they were. And it was only when the Eridar who survived the Burning Legion went away that they adopted the name the Draenei, which I believe the translation is like wandering ones or like lost ones or whatever. But that's why, because they had to leave their home planet and, you know, became the Draenei. The Eridar were originally what their race was. And what we now see of the original Eridar is Valen, the leader of the Draenei, and his son killed Jaden, the great demon general of Sargeras. And then, of course, there's Archimonde, the other great demon general, who is also one of the original Eridar, who agreed to take on the fell energies of Sargeras. Oh, yeah. All about that lore. So much so that we actually have a command all for that. If I get onto a fucking whole lore kick, you guys can usually shut me up with that, but usually not until I make my point. So I'll go like, yeah, you're right. And then I'll finish my statement and then I'll stop. But I'm like that with Elder Scrolls, Mass Effect, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, fucking Warcraft. I'm a lore nerd. If something's got some really interesting story, I will consume it all. The Witcher.
Your aid is the only
like once it's piqued my interest, I will read it until there is no more to read.
Goddess, grant me a vision of what I must do.
It's too far away.
I hear the drumming. No, the ringing, striking, and thunder from solid rock.
Ah, this is where we find out that Gallywix is up to some dumb shit.
I do not understand what you want me to see.
I know what these things are. They are venture company mechs made by Trade Prince Gallywix of the Goblins. Game crash or loading cinematic? Cinematic.
Goddess, where must I go? Orwen. Show me. I understand.
All right. Oh, game data is currently being downloaded. There must be something. Must be something going on. I mean, no. Pull up the BNet launcher. It's not installing anything. What the fuck is happening? Something janky's happening. I don't know if it's the game or my connection or what. Game data is currently being downloaded. I mean, I know I have a bunch of add-ons and shit, but damn, bruh.
Ah, you hail from above. Perhaps we'll meet again.
Meet in the deeps.
The vision. We are close. But I must remain unseen by the people there. Look for me in another form. At least I can honor one Heronir tradition.
Let's see, where are we headed? Ringing in the deeps. Where's Ringing in the deeps? Ringing deeps. There we go. Oh, wrong button. So I need to go here. There, is there a flight path? Yeah, there is. Okay. Let's go to the flight path. I have to say, I'm a big fan of like the graphics updates and stuff they've done to WoW. Like, it looks a lot better than it used to. I like it, and I kind of make my orc stand up straight. that was kind of nice. I liked that addition to the game. Like, you no longer have an eternal back issues. There.
The Emperor rewards the faithful.
That way.
The Empire is...
With their budget, I hope it looks better than it did 20 years ago. I mean, yeah, but it took them a long time to get to that point. New story, new arcs. Always gonna be a little slow to start. Really like Dawn Trail so far. I'm still very early on in the MSQ. I really hoped it. I don't know. I've heard from a lot of people that Dawn Trail was very lackluster. I'd be interested to know what you think of it.
I need to target something first. I need a target.
These are my add-ons going off for a rare scanner. So maybe them rares be... Right on. Yeah, I'd be interested to know. I even got married in Final Fantasy XIV. Me and wifey, we married our characters. We did that for our anniversary one year. I don't think she's played since our wedding in that game. Yeah, the weddings in Final Fantasy are actually they are really neat. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Wifey didn't care too much for it, I don't think. I mean, she thought it was neat, but, you know, she hasn't played, I don't think, since... I don't really know why. Why she stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV. I think it's maybe because she had less people to play with, too. And, of course, I was well further ahead of her in progress, and I played a lot more than she did. So maybe that was part of it. I don't know. Yeah, the weddings in Final Fantasy XIV are pretty cool, and of course, you know, you can get some pretty neat things from them. But no, like, me and wifey actually got our characters married and have the special mount and the wedding rings and all that. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And the clothing, the neat outfits. It's fun. I have a lot of mounts in that game, too. Like, obviously there's not as many mounts in Final Fantasy as there are in WoW.
Get lost, you
But I collected a lot of mounts.
These items are now the property of Opportunity Acquisitions, where we acquire.
I should have tried to catch that.
Opportunity.
Shit. I wish I could end that ad right now. Usually I would stop that ad because it's the end of stream. And this is actually around the time I gotta stop things. So unfortunately, some of you may be stuck in ads, but I'll be ending the stream. So, with that said, thank you guys for hanging out. I do really appreciate you. Oh, AAR's MSQ was really hard. It's true. And I did play it after Shadowbringers. That's actually when I started playing WoW, or Final Fantasy. It was right before Shadowbringers came out. But anyways, thank you guys so much for playing and hanging out today. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed just BSing with me as I played some WoW. We may see some more WoW on stream occasionally as I am getting back into it, but it's not going to be like a stream mainstay because I know many of you don't care for it. That's okay. I like it. Play it for me. We'll get back into Oblivion Remastered as well, but I am trying to get some people together to play some Delta Force on Thursday. I'm hoping to do the Black Hawk Down campaign if we could actually get some people together. But if not, I plan on at least playing some, normal like warfare, like PvP with Chick, and if anybody else wants to join us, that'd be cool too, because there's new weapons and new unlocks and a new season on Delta Force, and that'd be a lot of fun too. So I got some things down the pipeline to play. Hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much. I'll hopefully see you again on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, as we go live again. Don't know what game it's going to be yet. We'll find out at like 6 p.m. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Love your faces. See you again soon. And never forget, my friends, you stay classy, denizens.
Bye.